Kura, Kenha, the Ministry of Transport, the Ministry of Works, NEMA, the Water Resources Authority, Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company, the National Treasury, and other agencies, including the State Department of Housing. The committee met urgently to address the impact of the ongoing heavy rains and floods on Nairobi's infrastructure, livelihoods, and the safety of our residents. We recognize that the rains are not yet over. In fact, the alerts that we're getting is that we expect more rains towards the end of this week. The meteorological department will issue weather alert tomorrow. They normally do it on Tuesdays, but we're monitoring that. Now, our response, as we agreed, must be immediate and coordinated, and I will explain some of the areas that we resolved. After extensive deliberations, the committee made the following key resolutions. 1, immediate infrastructure restoration. The committee noted the significant damage caused by the sustained heavy rains to drainage systems and road networks across the city. Now, to address this, Kura, where a lot of the roads are, Kenha for the expressway, Mombasa Road, Uhuru Highway, and the other related infrastructure, the Nairobi Rivers Commission, Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company, and the county government mobility sector have been directed to submit a comprehensive joint assessment and costed plan within 48 hours, focusing on the road corridors and infrastructure most affected by the floods. All these agencies, as we speak, are sitting together, and the engineers in the sub-county are doing this assessment. They shall report back to us when the implementation committee resumes this Thursday. 2, mapping and repair of flood hotspots. That report will identify and map all flood-prone drainage bottlenecks and damaged infrastructure in Nairobi 17 sub-counties. They shall prioritize immediate desilting of drainage systems and repair of damaged roads, and reassess the stormwater drainage systems and recommend long-term improvements. Fortunately, we have found the resources that we will be used for this exercise in the short term. They will clearly identify the lead agency responsible for each intervention to eliminate duplication and ensure accountability. Thirdly, recovery of riparian and floodplain areas. The national and county multi-agency team responsible for riparian and floodplain recovery has been directed to intensify enforcement and recovery. We're bringing together more equipment to recover these areas under the coordination of the Nairobi Rivers Commission. We have built structures on drainage. People have, have walls that are on the waterways. You will see us demolishing them starting this week. We have to open up these areas. This is a critical step in restoring the natural flow of our rivers and preventing recurrent flooding. And we must remember that these are the delayed short rains. The long rains have not yet come. And so painful decisions must be made. This tough action must be taken. And I'm sure we'll have the goodwill of the public as we open up these areas. This tough action must be taken. And I'm sure we'll have the goodwill of the public as we open up these areas. A lot of the walls that are fallen is not because of anything more than they being on the path of the rivers, and so we need to open up these areas. You will see us mobilizing that equipment, and we shall go to the ground. The areas like Brookside, which every year has to be repaired because people have built on the path of the Kibagari River. So we're coming to those areas. Advanced flood monitoring and data sharing. We have directed the preparation and use of the satellite and GIS mapping data that covers all our river corridors from the source, floodplains and high-risk flood zones. This information is going to be shared continuously with government agencies and the media and the public to strengthen disaster preparedness, urban planning and infrastructure design. I'd like to give confirmation on restoration of water infrastructure. A major transmission pipeline was destroyed along Outer Ring Road. It had been damaged by floods. It has now been fully repaired and restored. Water supply has resumed to affected areas, including Buruburu, Phase 1 and 2, Kariobangi South and North, Dandora, parts of Mathare, surrounding estates. Repair works are now ongoing on distribution lines serving Kiambu and Korogosho. That is currently ongoing. Our teams are on the ground as we speak. On public health, following these floods, the county immediately deployed public health, environmental health, and water and sanitation emergency teams across the affected sub-counties to prevent disease outbreaks. Our teams are currently undertaking the following actions: disinfection and sanitation restoration. Public health teams have disinfected more than 300 flood-affected households and more than a similar number of sanitation facilities. The county has conducted water quality testing and chlorination of contaminated sources and distributed more than 4,000 household water treatment supplies to prevent waterborne diseases. We've protected our schools and institutions. More than the 30 flood-affected schools have been disinfected, thus protecting more than 3,800 students and ensuring safe learning environments. Actually, the number of those students is much more than that, because it's 30 schools, with each school having around 1,000 or so. Community health education, environmental health officers, and our 7,840 community health promoters have reached over 1,300 households with hygiene and water safety education to help communities protect themselves after flooding. We have also agreed with the State Department of Housing and the Rivers Commission to have at least 20,000 of the climate works teams moving from the rivers to actually come to assist in the continuous unclogging of drainage, as well as collection of debris and the destruction along the path of not just the rivers, but also the storm water. The committee emphasized the need for a single window approach in implementation. This 48-hour report that we shall issue and share with you will include a detailed cost estimate to enable immediate mobilization of both technical and financial resources from national and county governments. The technical teams continue to work around the clock to finalize the implementation matrix, and will reconvene later this week as soon as that report is ready. We've left the technical people, the planners, engineers from both levels of government to take lead on those actions. And so I think I can leave it at that. This is really just an update of what is happening. Remember, we say that all these agencies need to come together at this time. I want to thank the PSs who were available this morning, and the teams that are currently, as we speak, coordinating these efforts together, as well as our disaster teams. I must thank them. A lot of work was done over the weekend, a lot of people rescued, together with the Red Cross, that we must also thank. But let us brace ourselves. We have not had the end of these rains. In as much as the mitigation measures that we're putting in place in the short term, these long-term hard and tough actions must be taken together as all agencies for the sake of the people of Nairobi. I can leave it at that. Maybe I can take one or two questions. The rest we shall give as the information comes. Yes? Yes, Emily. Like? The global area. Yes. The river. Yeah. What are the measures that need to take, and are we going to see eviction for some of the people around there? Yeah. Already worried about the extent that they are questioning whether they yeah. And number two, there are a number of schools that are perennially affected. Yeah. So this multi-agency team is looking at what we call the choke points. Yeah. So these choke points will have to be cleared. As for the mechanics around Grogon, we have been having a long discussion with the Rivers Commission on relocating those garages. They will have to be relocated because they are right on the riparian. We declared a special planning area for the Nairobi rivers, which is 60 meters in most areas, and some areas 30 meters, and that is part of what will happen. We are providing alternative land in Ziwani, where we can actually set up these garages, as well as, remember, it's an ecosystem. So you have garages, you also have spare part shops, and many other, businesses that depend on each other. And so that decision must be made. It was really sad losing people around a place where we know they should not be, And so we're asking that we avoid political expediency. There are people who are already asking people, these affected areas not to evacuate, but we'll have to do what has to be done to move them. No, we've not gotten to that. Remember, this is many agencies coming together. Of course, there's mitigation that we're putting together to assist them. In some areas it is foodstuffs. In some areas it is, building materials where we can, but not on the areas they should not be. So if there are buildings on drainage, we'll have to remove them. You cannot have compensation there, because the building is on the wrong place. Yeah. Our sub-county engineers are actually stationed in the sub-counties. And a lot of these areas are already known. The solution around Broken is known. They have been engaged with the Rivers Commission. In fact, more than 360 different communities have been engaged on the ground, not from the office. And it's a continuous process, But where you find, for instance, Kirichwa Ndogo, that actually, not even really busted banks, but just followed its normal flow. Those residents have known for a long time that their walls are actually on the path of the water. And so there's no need for any more public participation there. It's just to do what is right, to restore the path of the water. Thank you. I'll take one more. Introduce yourself.
My name is Mike from Chile 47.
Yes, Mike.
Staying on the same.
Yeah.
You mentioned about we have this case not once, and this I don't think say this is the river Gondora Ule Evaluation. The course was changed, and about 4 or 5 years ago,
Yes.
there is a Chinese company that built a wall, some short.
Yes.
Is it possible for the county to build around it? Now, Ijenga was law back at the riverside, so that it can at least reduce.
Yeah. That is very interesting, and I remember that incident that time when I was in Senate. I think the company is called, it's a Chinese name. Now, our River Commission is engaging all those solutions. Because remember, even now, if you go to Globe Cinema, we've hoarded it because of the work that we're doing in there. And we're engaging these people, it's in their best interest. And so there's a lot of river training that is going to be done. There'll be revertments in that section. In fact, the section from Museum Hill up until First Avenue, Eastleigh, around 10 or so, 6.6 kilometers, sorry, is where we're going to have major revertments. And of course, trash traps to stop that contamination. But that is work that has been contracted. It's a 50 billion project. It is ongoing. The areas where we've already established the 1.8 by 1.8 meter sewer line. And so that is part of the solution. The combat traders as well had that concern because of the changing of the course of the river. So these are pragmatic, discussions that are being done with the people. We cannot ignore that their livelihoods are at stake, but their lives also need to be protected. So allow me to leave it at that because of time, because we need to go to do this work. Yes. 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 Yeah.
And these fires are perennial.
Yes.
Every other time you find traders have suspicion and say it is a way of evicting us.
Yes.
Case, there is an eviction notice, I think, dated January, and 7 days to leave. But my question to you, even as I speak to the incident today, 250 stalls have been raised to ashes.
Yeah.
How do you reconcile the need by the council government or government agencies to move people from space
Places.
things?
Yeah.
At the same time, without losses that are we cannot get to the conclusion of what has.
That particular incident happened this morning. Our teams responded. They responded very well. Actually, the chief officer, I sent him there as well.
Work is a pain in the apps.